Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on News Channel 15. Filling in for Scott Allen, I'm Jeremy Smith, and here's a look at today's news. First, our top story. High winds and severe storms ripped through multiple counties in southern Illinois Thursday night. There's been reports of damage to structures as well as trees and power lines down in multiple areas. This picture was provided to News Channel 15 by Patrick Hoshite of Gallatin County. It's also been confirmed that the roof of the Gallatin County High School was severely damaged, as you can see here in a photo provided by the Ridgeway Fire Department. Ameren IP and emergency crews worked diligently throughout the night and are still working in many areas. It was estimated around 1 a.m. this morning that there were at least 78,000 homes without power. As of now, that number has been reduced to just over 50,000. Emergency officials want to remind everyone that with this current heat advisory, if you're without power, please seek your local cooling center and remember to stay hydrated. And in arrests, WRUL reports that Carmi police arrested 2 people following a traffic stop Thursday morning. At around 10:15 a.m., officers pulled over a truck driven by 36-year-old Sean Jones of Carmi. The truck's Indiana license plates came back as belonging to a car and were not authorized for that vehicle. A search of the vehicle turned up a broken pipe that tested positive for methamphetamine. Another meth pipe was found in Jones' sock. A passenger, 31-year-old Holly Miller of Carmi, seen here, attempted to remove clothing from the vehicle, and another meth pipe was found upon a search of those clothes. A search of Miller's purse found items that Miller admitted to having stolen from Walmart. Jones and Miller were transported to the White County Jail, where Jones was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and unlawful display of a vehicle registration. Miller was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and retail theft. Both are being held without bail pending a court hearing. According to WAKO, Lawrence County authorities arrested a Lawrenceville couple following a domestic dispute on Thursday. Sheriff's deputies charged 23-year-old Jeremy Cazell and 20-year-old Alexis Cazell with domestic battery. Both were taken to the Lawrence County Jail. And the Du Bois County Sheriff's Department made 3 arrests after receiving information about possible drug activity at a 43rd Street apartment complex. Officers, accompanied by a K-9 unit, went to the complex where the dog indicated the presence of narcotics at the 420 West 43rd Street apartment of 47-year-old Kent E. Crodel. Also at the apartment were 31-year-old Jessica L. Escobedo of Huntingburg and 42-year-old Mark A. Opel of Jasper. Officers were preliminarily denied consent to search the apartment, but applied for and were granted a search warrant. Officers located multiple devices for smoking methamphetamine, a small scale, marijuana, and a pill that was determined to be a controlled substance. Police took all 3 occupants into custody and booked them into the Du Bois County Security Center. Crodell has been charged with a level 6 felony count of methamphetamine possession, a misdemeanor count of possession of paraphernalia, misdemeanors of possession of marijuana, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Escobedo and Opel were both charged with misdemeanor counts of possession of paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, and possession of a controlled substance. Indiana State Police and the Du Bois County Prosecutor's Office both assisted in this arrest. And WSEI reports that the investigation continues into 2 long vehicle crashes on Interstate 70 in Fayette County, 1 mile west of St. Elmo, that killed 2 out-of-state people. The state police reported 36-year-old Michelle C. Davis of Allentown, Pennsylvania, was eastbound on I-70 when her car ran off the roadway onto the right shoulder and struck the rear of a parked semi-tractor trailer. Davis, a passenger, 30-year-old Ariel F. McLean of Silver Springs, Maryland, were both pronounced deceased at the scene. The truck driver, 51-year-old Jerry L. Brown of Atlanta, Georgia, was taken to St. Anthony's Memorial Hospital in Effingham, where he was later ticketed for improper parking on a roadway, and that investigation continues by authorities. According to WAKO, published reports say that a Lawrenceville nursing facility is going through financial difficulties after word has surfaced of paychecks bouncing. Officials with the United Methodist have not commented on the situation as of yet. There have been reports of a number of unpaid bills as well. The United Methodist Village has facilities at 1616 Cedar Street and 2101 James Street, as well as the Southern Meadows Estate Independent Living Facility. And in state news, WSEI reports that the Associated Press has learned that private Illinois nursing homes are fronting around $300 million for residential care because the state is so far behind on determining whether they're eligible for Medicaid. Numbers compiled by State Comptroller Susana Mendoza show that the state has a backlog of 15,000 people who are awaiting Medicaid eligibility determinations, and the backlog has nearly tripled since August 2014. A judge in a federal lawsuit ordered that the state clear up the backlog by yesterday or presume that everyone is eligible and put up the state's Medicaid share of $300 million. The Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services is offering a $14 million contract to a privately held company to try to help them catch up. And very high temperatures and heat index readings are going to result in a significant risk of heat-related illnesses into the first part of the weekend. Health and safety officials are reminding folks to be extra alert on this weekend, and weather-wise, the excessive heat warning today through Sunday is causing enough to use common sense while outside. If in the direct sunlight, take plenty of breaks in the shade, wear loose-fitted clothing, and drink plenty of cool water. Plus, be sure to make sure and check on elderly neighbors and relatives frequently and make sure that they are okay. Safety-wise, leave the 4th of July fireworks to those licensed to do so. An estimated 12,900 people suffered from fireworks-related injuries last year, with sparklers being the #1 cause, and most of those cases involving small children. Use some common sense out there and simply attend a fireworks display in your local region. Well, that's a look at news. I'll be back after this break with weather.
For over a century.
And welcome back to News Channel 15. How about a look at today's weather? As you can see by the radar out there right now, it is dry, even after last night's major storms that we had. There are a few isolated patches of showers popping up here and there to our southeast, but overall, our local viewing region is seeing dry skies. Looking at the almanac, you can see that today's high was 91, but with a 62% humidity level, that rose our heat index to 102 outside. Our low tonight is going to be around 72, and the record temperatures for this time of year are 101, which was set in 1988, and 43, which was set in 1992. As previously stated, there was no rain in the gauges here at News Channel 15 for the day. However, we are standing at 7 37/100ths of an inch on the month and 26.8 inches on the year so far. Tonight, expect mainly clear skies. We're going to have some light winds coming up out of the south to southeast. Going to be a low of right around 72. Overall, a pleasant evening. Going into Saturday, you can expect partly cloudy skies. We're going to have a 10% chance of rain, but the high is going to be around 93, and humidity levels are going to reach high enough that the heat index is going to feel like 105 to 108. Saturday night, you can expect mostly cloudy, isolated rain here and there. Not very many storms to speak of coming into the system on Saturday night, but going into Sunday morning, we're going to see a little bit of that change. But right now, as far as Saturday night goes, just expect some small little patches of isolated rain and temperatures getting down to around 74. Taking a look at our extended forecast. Sunday, you see that we got the rain coming back I was talking about. We're going to have some thunderstorms. You're going to be not quite as severe as we've seen, but it's still going to be a little rainy, a little nasty out there. That's also going to bring in enough moisture to raise that humidity level up a little more. Your high is going to be right around 91, but the heat index is going to make it feel like it's in the triple digits. So between that and it being nasty and rainy, why not just stay inside and enjoy your day with the family? Sunday night, you can expect the temperatures to drop down to about 74. We're going to see those thunderstorms roll over into Monday with a high of 88 and a low of 73. On Tuesday, you can expect partly cloudy skies. The sun is going to peek back out. We're going to have a high of around 89, but those heat indexes are still going to rise up a little bit. Expected to feel more like it's in the mid to upper 90s. Your lows Tuesday night will be 72. Wednesday, we've got partly cloudy skies, a high of around 91, and a low of 73. Now, looking at Thursday to round out your extended forecast, you can expect partly cloudy skies, nice sunny day, highs around 92 with triple-digit heat index, and a low of 74. And that's a look at today's weather and the extended forecast for the week. I'll be back after this break with sports.
Today.
And welcome back to News Channel 15. Here's a look at the scores in last night's baseball games. Arizona beat Miami with a final score of 4-0. Oakland beat Detroit 4-2. It was the Minnesota Twins coming out on top of the White Sox with a score of 2-1 after going 13 long innings. And Seattle beat Baltimore 4-2 in the 10th. The Cubs beat the Dodgers with a final score of 11-5, and it was Colorado coming out on top against San Francisco with a final score of 9-8. Philly ended up beating Washington 4-3, and Houston defeated Tampa Bay 1-0. Boston beat the Angels 4-2, and finally Milwaukee took down Cincinnati with a final score of 6-4. Milwaukee remains 2.5 games ahead of the Cubs and 4.5 games ahead of the Cardinals in the NL Central Division. And that's a look at everything we've got for today. I'm Jeremy Smith. Scott Allen will be back with you next week. Want to make sure that everybody has a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Get out there, enjoy the fireworks celebrations, but do it safely. And remember, if you're going to drink, don't drive. Until next time, I'm Jeremy Smith. On behalf of Andrew Julian in the booth, Kyle Peach, and Scott Allen, as well as myself, happy 4th of July and have a great weekend.